Very good afternoon to you, everybody. Meteorologist Dontae Jones here at the Dick Goddard Weather Center, and we're going to talk a little bit about Ian. If you were with us, if you've been with us, I'd say probably late last week into this week, we've been tracking the storm, and we've been talking about that we could be impacted by the remnants of that storm. Matter of fact, our Scott Sable doing some yeoman's work for us, and about 11 storms in the past in history have come within 100 miles of Cleveland. Most of them, though, have much weakened to either extratropical storms or tropical depressions or what have you. We haven't had any that have remained a hurricane, although I believe Hugo and another storm may have been tropical storms by the time they came within 100 miles of Cleveland. This storm expected to weaken as it moves inland. But nonetheless, we could be impacted by that, and we'll go along in time, and we'll show you the future cast and see if that's the case, and the timing of when that could be. First, though, we received a lot of rainfall. Anytime you're talking about weather and meteorology, you got to talk about where we are, and then we'll talk about where we're going and how where we are could impact where we're going. A flood watch in effect still for Cuyahoga, Geauga Lake, and Ashtabula counties because of all the rainfall that's been received. So far, already some places have received up to about 3 to 5 inches since Sunday. And so we could receive, we're not really expected to dry out until Thursday. So the rest of today and tomorrow, we could still see some on and off again downpours as we go throughout the day. There's the spin in the atmosphere, that low pressures. Notice that that's current. We're still seeing on and off again scattered showers, some of those thunderstorms, which dump a good amount of rainfall. It's one of those type of patterns where you might see a peak or two of blue sky and some sunshine, and then it quickly clouds over, and then you hear outside a good downpour of rain. So that's the same pattern that we're seeing. A little bit closer here, we'll show you Ashtabula County, north of Roaming Shores, south of Ashtabula, over towards, I'd say, western Geauga County, seeing the heavier rain batches there. Let me scoot in and kind of show you some of the 24-hour estimates, and you can see the lake effect band right along the northern stretches of Ashtabula County, Lake County, a northern bulk of Geauga County, and over into the northern portions of Cuyahoga County as well. So that's the 24-hour totals here. Let me see if I can't query some of these and see some rainfall amounts for 24 hours. So it looks like for the past 24 hours, this northern Geauga County, about a little over 2.5 inches. Now, I did the same query 24 hours ago, and this same area had 4 inches of rain. So if this is correct, an estimation currently of about 6.6 inches of rain in a couple of days in northern Geauga County. So that gives you the picture that we're really talking a lot of rainfall. There's in that section of Ashtabula County 1.5 inches. Let's head over to Cuyahoga County, about 3 inches in this section. So we received a lot of rain. So we're saturated, and the problem is because we're saturated, and by the time we dry out on Thursday, any additional rain that we get just going to super saturate us, and so the flooding potential is already there. Hence the flash flood watch or the flood watch. But any amount of rain we get over the weekend with Ian would just exacerbate the problem. All right, so let's talk about Ian. Here's current conditions there. It's moving just over Cuba right about now. It's a Category 3 because it's moved over back into the open waters where the water temperatures are warm. We'll take a look at that in a second. Winds 120 miles an hour, 140 mile an hour gusts. It's moving directly to the north. And so here's the path. It'll eventually start to make a right-hand turn here, or an easterly turn, and we'll probably, I'll back this up just a second, and probably make landfall as a Category 3 right there, just south of Tampa. So somewhere between Tampa, Sarasota, and north of Fort Myers, Naples area. So that's where it'll make landfall, probably as a Cat 3, and then it slowly weakens, and then it turns northward, and starts to move up the Appalachian chain. By the way, that landfall, let me just back up one more time. That landfall probably Wednesday overnight is what we're looking at. So it's going to be a busy week for a lot of folks in Florida. and it weakens to a tropical storm. Here's the wave heights. Now look at just right in the middle of that storm there. Wave height's about 30 feet. If you look up at the legend, that yellow, 30 feet wave heights. Wow, that's pretty dramatic right there. Here's tropical wind futurecast, and so far we got the East Coast plotted on here. So by the time we head into Thursday, we're talking Daytona Beach, Jacksonville, 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts. So pretty breezy. The folks who will take the brunt of that will be those where the direct landfall is on the western side of Florida, or the Gulf Coast of Florida. Look at the legend up there. Look at all the purples down in the Gulf. Water temperatures in the upper 80s to about 90. That is very much high octane fuel for these storms. So by the time this storm barrels in there on the middle part of the work week, we're talking 10 plus inches of rain for some folks in Florida. See some of the numbers here. On the eastern side, Miami, about 3 3/4 inches of rain, but Port St. Lucie are up to about 8 inches of rain. Tampa, almost 11 inches of rain, a little over 11 inches in Jacksonville. Here's again another future cast there of rainfall, where I just kind of took the general 10 to 20 inches of rain right where that hurricane makes landfall. Here are the winds. So by the time we get into Wednesday morning, Tampa, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Naples will start to feel tropical depression type winds, and then tropical storm force winds by the afternoon, and then hurricane force winds by late evening and into the overnight hours. And then it starts to get caught up in this trough, and then it moves northward. Just a little bit of info for you. Again, Scott kind of doing some yeoman's work for us. And Cat 4 and 5 U.S. landfalls, take a look at where those fell. Right, of course, in the area where we expect for hurricanes to make land, in the Gulf and the Florida and right along the eastern seaboard. A lot of South Carolinas down into Georgia, of course, Florida in there, and over towards Mississippi and Louisiana and Texas, of course. So that's what we've got going for us here, where we could add another one to the notch. Although this will be a Cat 3 more than likely by the time it makes landfall. Still a major hurricane. 3, 4, and 5s are major hurricanes. Now here is the big picture. Here's the future cast. All right. The models are starting to tend to agree that this is sort of the track. Now, there's still things that can change here. We're still a ways away, but this currently is the track. Where, look there on, I'll back it up just a little bit, over the weekend here. Saturday, nothing for us. Clouds coming in on Saturday. This Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Notice any rainfall from that system down towards southern Ohio. So Saturday's fine. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy. Maybe some higher level clouds come in from the storm system on Saturday, but Saturday's dry. And then it starts to break up a little bit. There's Sunday, I'll scoot that back, Sunday morning, I'd say 70 and southward is where you see any light rain showers. And as this system starts to move slowly eastward over the Appalachian chain, sure, some of the outer rainfall gets into northeast Ohio, but I'm backing this up. This is Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. And so we're looking at just maybe rain chances in the southern portion of the state. Now, we'll start to see that by overnight Sunday night into Monday morning, where maybe places like Holmes, Tuscarawas, Stark, Carroll, Columbiana counties may see some rain showers from that. And then as it pulls eastward, by the time we head into Monday late afternoon and evening, we're just seeing cloudy skies from the system. Now that is one model there. I'm going to go into the graphic. That is the model that we call the RPM. Actually, that's the GFS. That's the Global Forecasting System. Let me change this to the European model and see what it says. So the European model is going to take it up here just like the GFS did, Global Forecasting System. Here is Saturday afternoon, so we start to see cloud cover and we start to break it up as it moves further north. There's Sunday morning, we're still dry. Then by the time we head towards Sunday afternoon, places like Tuscarawas County, Holmes, Carroll, Columbiana, and may start to see some sprinkles, light shower activity. So the European model is maybe a little bit more aggressive with any rain, and that comes in Sunday evening. And it's light in nature. Notice if you look up at the left-hand corner, this is 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and it's just light, spotty, scattered shower activity. And it pulls off again to the east, and by Monday evening, we're still dry. So what we're looking at is right now, both scenarios are saying that we are seeing just light rain showers, either starting Sunday evening or Sunday overnight. So the Euro says Sunday evening we'll see light rain showers. The GFS says we'll see light rain showers Sunday overnight. But either way, that's it. We're not looking at anything heavy at this point in time. Now that could change depending on the track. And if we do see any rain, now hopefully it'll be light if we see anything. If it's heavy, it'll exacerbate what we already have going on for us, especially those counties in the snow belt, which we'll call the rain belt now. So right now, good news is it's looking light, any rain showers that we get. So I wouldn't even put any totals on it, in all honesty. I think any model totals that come out for rain will be really light. I'm talking about maybe under a half an inch or so. But if we start to get information coming in, okay, this is the track, it's going to move right up the Appalachian chain and continue northward into, a few days ago it had it moving right up the Ohio-Pennsylvania state line. So that would dump a little bit more rain on us because that'll be a little closer to the center of the storm. And that would equal inches, which would, what we're already having, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches here in northeast Ohio, especially in the snow belt there. That would add a lot more flooding potential. But right now, both models are saying it'll stay pretty much south and then start to veer east around the Appalachian chain. And so the far north you are, the safer you are. And so we're a little bit further north. And so we would just get light rain showers with maybe, depending on if the bands stay together. If the bands stay together, then we get some quick heavy downpours from a storm here or there. Maybe an isolated tornado chance if we have any storms that are still developing. But right now, thankfully, the bulk of any rainfall from this system will be closer towards the center of it, which would be southern Ohio. So 70 and southward. So places like Columbus, maybe Dayton, Zanesville, Chillicothe, Cincinnati, over towards Marietta, places like that would receive a little bit more rainfall than us here up north, which is a reversal of fortunes than what we're seeing right now. We're getting this low pressure moving by, and so we're getting a lot of rainfall here along the lake, as opposed to those folks down in the southern portions of the state. So if you're looking at the impacts of Ian, which we're talking about, we're talking right now at this point in time, both models are saying any rainfall that you get from Ian will be light in nature, light rain showers anywhere from Sunday evening until, and starting either Sunday evening or Sunday overnight through the day on Monday, and then it pulls off and we're drier on Tuesday. But of course, I just want to keep this caveat in there, just in case you turn off the computer and say, okay, Dontae said we're not going to really get anything's going to be light. We have to keep, if it's on the current track, that is going to be the case. But if the track changes, which it does at times, which we all know these do, then we're going to constantly be up here updating you saying, okay, now this is changing, here are the impacts. That's changing, here are the impacts to us. So right now, again, good news, light rain showers in northern and northeast Ohio from Ian, probably Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, or Sunday overnight. All right, I'm going to get the forecast together here because I got to be on at 4 o'clock, so I will see you then. Have a great afternoon, everybody.